Throughout the past few weeks on YouTube, perhaps no other person has been the subject of controversy more than MasterOogway. With critics of his calling his content extremely racist, bordering on Nazi-like, I think it's time to look into his past to see if this is a recent development or if Oogway has been like this all along. So in this video, we're going to get into a chronicled history of the controversies of Oogway. We'll discuss his rise to the top, his questionable content, and discover how he found himself in the position that he's now in, as well as figuring out if he's going to get banned from YouTube, because that's currently on the cards right now as we speak. But before we get into that, first off, a message from today's video sponsor. You see, Cook Unity is the very first chef-to-consumer platform delivering freshly prepared, pre-selected meals right to your door on a weekly basis. If you're like me, you might not have enough time on your hands to cook a delicious and satisfying meal every day, so Cook Unity takes all of the hassle out for you. It has a total of 7 dietary preferences ranging all the way from gluten-free to vegan and is super flexible. You can pause it, skip weeks, and even cancel anytime you want. Again, Cook Unity makes dinner time a custom and simple task. These meals are created by local chefs within micro kitchens, so you can be sure that as well as convenient, this is tasty, fresh food. All you need to do is heat it up. And that's something that I really like about it. These are professional chefs feeding you dinner right to your doorstep. So if that sounds like a tasty prospect to you, then I recommend going to cookunity.com/FoxAkimbo50 or head down into the description and use my code FoxAkimbo50 for 50% off your first meals. I want to give a big thank you to Cook Unity for being the sponsor of today's video. With that said, now let's get into the background of MasterOogway. So MasterOogway's channel was formed in May 2021 by a man of the name Ömer Sastem, born of Dutch-Turkish heritage. As the channel's name might suggest, initially he was a bit of a MasterOogway fan channel, MasterOogway, for anyone who doesn't know him by the way, being the old wise mentor from the Kung Fu Panda franchise. So at least in the early days of his channel, Sastem would upload shorts doing an impersonation and dubbing over Oogway. And while MasterOogway in the Kung Fu Panda movies would give out spiritual and sage advice, Sastem's interpretation would give out horny rhymes and make remarks about women being hoes.
If she does not do what you desire, her sister you shall acquire.
Now, these were obviously just jokes, with the comedy lying in this sage old kung fu master talking like a frat boy. But since the punchline was usually all some sort of deviation of go bang more girls or all girls are hoes, it's likely that a few people were offended by his work. In fact, despite Sastem only creating the account in May 2021, by October, so not even half a year later, he came out with a video titled MasterOogway Voice Actor Reveals His Face, in which he revealed that people had apparently been trying to get him banned.
My students, I have some very unfortunate news. People have been reporting my content and trying to get me banned, and my account could be removed forever.
To have created enemies so quickly was actually kind of impressive, to be honest, especially since the jokes that he was making at the time would be nothing compared to what he would do later. However, if you look on his channel and sort his shorts by oldest to newest, you'll notice that his oldest shorts took off immediately. Obviously, there have been about 3 years for these specific videos to accumulate views, but despite his first short being uploaded on the 24th of May 2021 and now sitting at 230,000 views, a mere 4 days later and he would upload a short that now sits at 2.7 million views. And it would be in this video where he danced around a word that he's since come under fire for having an affinity for.
Small dick guy. What up, my nibble?
As a comment by Goonzilla would say, the beginning of the end. And that might have been a visionary call because 2 years down the line, and yeah, MasterOogway is currently under heavy fire for his use of the N-word. But it's something to keep in the back of your mind for later, because MasterOogway seems to have an obsession with it. It seems as though he thinks it's very funny, but for a Dutch-Turkish guy to be cracking so many N-word jokes on the internet, it's only going to end in drama. That said, we'll get into the specifics of his N-word escalation later on. In the meantime, let's discuss the evolution and subsequent controversy of Oogway's online existence. The controversy stemming from the rock-bottom, low-effort content that he pumps out. So Oma spends more than half a year doing dubs over MasterOogway scenes, and though this brings him overnight success, realistically there's only so long that you can keep making videos like that. In late 2021, he begins making reaction content with such videos as MasterOogway reacts to memes that fondle his shell, MasterOogway reacts to memes about his small peepee, and MasterOogway reacts to memes that help him get an anime girlfriend. This era of reaction content for him would receive quite a lot of hate. I found this critical Reddit post from 2 years ago with more than 700 upvotes that showed a video of him reacting to various clips, even though his input was only ever a few words at a time. Reactors have come under scrutiny many times in the past for not actually adding anything unique, original, or worthwhile to content. So outside of your community, if you're a reactor, you're essentially on a 5-star wanted list. However, it wasn't just MasterOogway's long-form videos that were getting him slack, but his short-form videos too. If you look through his channel closely, you'll notice that a lot of his short-form videos are essentially the same joke with the same punchline, just a slightly different setup. For example, I'm about to show you a number of his videos all uploaded on the exact same day promoting his MasterOogway condom, where he uses essentially the exact same joke each time.
Let's make a sussy baka! I meant a protein shake!
My student, that could be your kid in the future. Get my Oogway rubbers before it's too late. My student, do you truly want to risk having a child like that? Use my Oogway condoms before it's too late.
You guys stop calling me cute. I'm not cute. I'm mean and scary and I'll kick your butt.
This is someone's kid. Do you truly want to risk having a kid that becomes something like that as well? Get my Oogway condoms before...
It doesn't stop there though, because if you look at his channel in the spring of 2022, you'll notice that he starts to get very egregious with it. Those condom promotions were, at the very least, different videos. In April, he makes this meme format which he spammed literally dozens of times, which is the exact same video each and every time, just with a different prompt. To say that this was low effort content would be the understatement of the century. This is literally the lowest possible effort you could put into a video. But these videos were all almost exclusively extremely popular. These would rake in hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of views, and all he had to do each time was change the text at the top. Now, I should clarify that I have nothing against Oma personally, and I have to admit that I think that most people, if they knew they could take in huge numbers and gain probably tens of thousands of subscribers through literally doing the bare minimum, most people would probably find it hard to say no. That said, if you're going to get away with it, like MasterOogway clearly has, I think that it's fair that you get called out on it too. Because there are literally millions of people all around the world who spend time and effort and actually put something into making content and don't see a fraction of the views that MasterOogway gets despite making much better videos. YouTube's short system has allowed low effort, slop content like this to go viral, and Oma has clearly seen that and he's exploited it, so I can't really say anything about that. Fair play to him, he's seen a loophole, he's seen a gap, and he's filled it. This is not high quality content, and purely based on the numbers of videos that Oma uploads alone, it never even could be. MasterOogway's YouTube channel was created a little over 1100 days ago, and according to Social Blade, he's uploaded almost 5,000 videos. Though according to his own testimony, he's made over 20,000 on various accounts.
I made thousands of videos. On this account I made 5,000. On other accounts, I made a total of 20,000.
So it's possible that he's averaged about 20 uploads a day for 3 years. Think of this as my critique on shorts in general, because personally, I just don't think that you can create unique, original, and high quality content if you upload that frequently for that long. And that doesn't just apply to MasterOogway, that applies to anyone. Around this time, other people seem to notice the lack of effort that went into this content too. And so, outside of his community, Oogway was kind of just known as a bit of a spammer. If you knew him and were over the age of 13, the chances are you thought low of his content. And for the next year and a half, Oogway would carry on doing the exact same thing. That video template that I showed you before, that was the first of many. He would begin doing that a lot more frequently, and even up until recently, he was guilty of essentially uploading the exact same video dozens of times over with different text at the top. And let's be very bluntly honest with ourselves here, MasterOogway's audience is children. I can't imagine there's anyone in their 20s or 30s or older who would be entertained by the exact same joke dozens of times over, and that's how he's getting away with it. But things are even more egregious on his second evil Oogway channel. He has fucking hundreds of videos in a row with the exact same meme formats, each with hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of views. He has created an infinite view, money, and subscriber glitch. And I also want an infinite subscriber glitch, so make sure if you're enjoying this video so far to subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. I'm very close to 150,000 subscribers, and yeah, please do it. But with that said, months ago, I was one of the many creators who called Sniper Wolf out for her reactions. What she did to Jack's films was deserving of consequences, yes, but at least her content had some sort of input, even if it was extremely basic. This is nothing. This is absolutely nothing. So I feel the need to call him out even harder because this is the exact same format, copied and pasted about 1,000 different times, literally 1,000 different times. Like hundreds of these videos, they're the exact same format. It probably took him about 20 seconds to make each of these. It's absurd that this is allowed to happen. Again, this is not against Omar specifically. If anyone made this kind of content and got these sorts of numbers, I would have a word to say about them too. But soon, his repetitiveness would catch up to him. This all came to blows in late October and early November 2023 after Oogway tweeted out that he had been demonetized. He stated, "Wow, I just got demonetized. Is this how I get rewarded for creating thousands of videos, entertaining billions, and making their day on the platform? Is this how I get rewarded for making you guys hundreds of thousands of dollars? I am one of your biggest YouTube creators, and I don't even have a spokesperson to address this. I ask you to remonetize me ASAP, please. And I ask for my viewers to tag YouTube and retweet this as much as possible." YouTube would later respond to that tweet, saying that an internal team had confirmed that Oogway's content wasn't original enough, that he didn't transform his content enough for monetization. When Sastam heard this, he was not happy in the slightest, and created a response video titled, "I'm quitting YouTube permanently." This is what he had to say about it.
What's up guys? YouTube just officially responded and they say that I am not allowed to join the YouTube partner program. They're not giving me my monetization back. Is this how you truly reward someone who spent 3 years on your platform creating videos? I made thousands of videos. On this account I made 5,000. On other accounts I made a total of 20,000. And then you say that I make unoriginal content. Frankly, fuck you guys. Is this how you reward me? You don't only spit in my face, you spit on the billions of people that watch my videos, their faces, and the millions of subscribers that I have on their faces. And then you just laugh at me and then just take away my monetization? Is this how you reward your content creators?
Some people in the comments thought that his claims were a bit strange. From a lot of people's perspectives, it seemed as though Sastam did in fact think that his content was unique and original, which, I mean, no. Don't get me wrong, lots of people were saying that it would be sad to see Oogway go, but there was also a good portion of people that were saying yes, his content was unoriginal, it was rehashed, and they didn't feel sympathy for him being demonetized. So after this, MasterOogway goes to Kick or Rumble or Twitter, right? Well, no. On the 3rd of November, he announced on Twitter that he had been let back into the YouTube Partner Program after being given the opportunity to call with YouTube themselves, with them pointing out their issues with his content. Oogway in turn would adjust, delete a few videos, and then just go back to the exact same spammed video with alternate text formula that he did before with 0 consequences. However, this is not the reason why the entirety of the internet has been speaking about MasterOogway over the past few weeks. Let's get into that next. So I think the best place to start is on the 2nd of May 2024 when MasterOogway drops a video called Saying the Actual N-Word, in which he brings up the hotly debated topic of who can say the N-word, before pulling a move so crazy I still can't believe that he did it. Let's take a look.
What's up YouTube? Today I spoke to my parents and they told me a story. They told me a story about my grandparents. Turns out, my great-great-great-great-great-grandparents were slaves during the Ottoman Empire. Now, I've been wondering what makes a person get the permission to say the N-word. Because I hear Mexican people say the N-word, and I hear black people say the N-word, and many other races as well. They say it, and they claim that they can say it because they have a history of slavery. So, technically, since my great-great-great-great-great-grandparents are slaves, I am allowed to say it as well. So, I'm gonna say it for the first time in my life properly. Guys, I'm never gonna say this word in an offensive way. I will only use it for comedic value, since I'm allowed to say it now.
So yeah, he actually says the N-word here. Obviously, I had to bleep it, but he does say it. And as of me recording this, the video where he says the N-word is still up. Now, as a white guy, I am going to remove myself from this situation because I don't want to be that kind of whiner who's like, oh, you can't say this, you can't say that, because I don't know. I'm personally not going to go on a witch hunt after him, but I will report on witch hunts that other people have undertaken. It seems as though he recently found out his heritage, which to him opened up some doors. This video is, for the most part, not hate bombed or anything. It has a fairly respectable like to dislike ratio. And perhaps because there was no severe pushback, that led him on to making a song that would shock the YouTube scene. On the 19th of May 2024, he uploaded a song onto his music channel called Young Oogway, and the song was titled, I mean, I can't say it, otherwise this video will get sent into the Shadow Realm. We're going to need to use some code words, so for a particularly divisive word beginning with N, we're going to use the word ninja. And for a particularly controversial word beginning with R, we'll use the code word restarted. The music itself has no video attached. There's only a picture of Omar in front of what I think is the Duomo in Milan. But to be honest, this song didn't even need a video to be considered highly controversial. And when you dig into the song, things get even more dicey. The first verse goes as such. Adolf Hitler is my ninja. Put the barrel to his head and pull the trigger. With my ninja Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, my restarted son is addicted to liquor. I mean, where do we begin? I guess first and foremost, yes, Omar says the N-word in this song. A good few times. Now, the debate on who gets to say the word is a subjective one, and it's definitely not my place to say, but people do have varying opinions about it. However, the general consensus from what I've seen is that Dutch-Turkish people do not have the pass. Now, Omar did come out to clarify on Twitter that he did an ancestry test and felt as though he was allowed to say the word because he's 2.31% African. This might be a joke, it's kind of hard to tell over text, and Oogway has come out on the record to say that most of what he says and does online is just a joke. But even if his reasoning was a joke, that doesn't excuse the fact that he did say the word. Of course, some people loved the song and thought that it was funny or good, but YouTube did not. and as you might be able to guess, decided to delete his video for hate speech. He also had his TikTok account banned on the 21st of May, and while I can't be certain that the reason for the ban was that he uploaded this song onto his personal TikTok, considering that this was only 2 days after the song was uploaded to YouTube, it seems like more than a coincidence to me. I can't say for sure though, so if anyone who's watching this video knows, please leave a comment down below. That said, just like when they demonetized his account last year, Omar went on a Twitter rampage in response. Oogway went on Twitter and shared a DM that he received from YouTube, and just like when his channel was demonetized, said things along the lines of, "This is how you treat me after all of the views I got for you." He did not take the video's removal lightly. By this point, he had received some flack, with him tweeting out messages to the haters, saying that he wanted to prove them wrong and that their hate only motivated him. He also vowed to double down on wokeism and make a song that's even more crazy, going on to call all of his haters snowflakes, bronies, and furries. But he would later go on to clarify that everything he does on the internet is all fake. It's all an act. He would say that he felt as though he was within his rights to make the song because it was his artistic freedom, but he now knew that he had taken things too far. However, on the exact same day as that, though you might think that this tweet meant that he changed his ways and he realised that he shouldn't be saying the N-word, he then tweeted out, "The N-word." He used it in a positive context, it has to be said. He's so far stuck by his statement about not using it in a negative way. He carried on his Twitter rampage by using examples of other creators trying to point out double standards. He frequently asks YouTube why Kevin Leonardo's videos have been monetized in the past, and he also shared a drama alert tweet of Boogie saying a different kind of N-word on the LolCow livestream not long after.
Look at him. Nico, you can say Nico.
Hey! No, you can't!
I used a word tonight on the LolCow live stream, and I didn't believe it was offensive when they told me to stop saying it. I didn't know. So I said it like 4 or 5 times.
He then tweeted out pictures of other non-black YouTubers who have said the N-word, including Keemstar, PewDiePie, and iDubbbz. The last notable thing he tweeted that I'll mention was that he said that, and I quote, "I shall forever be remembered as the man who got bombarded by cancel culture and stood his fucking ground." He would get severely ratioed for this tweet. However, then in late May, he would start tweeting out something that would trigger a new demographic. On the 29th of May, MasterOogway replies to a trans person on Twitter saying, "Since you're trans, I don't know if I should imagine you saying this in a female body with a big male voice, or a male body with a female voice, or a male body with a male voice, or vice versa. This confusing bruh." This tweet would get him ratioed by someone who called him a big jiggly loser. MasterOogway up until this point had made videos referencing trans people, but none of them were informative of how he felt about them. He would later tweet, "I identify as a black man," which would make it seem as though he's poking fun at the idea that you could identify as something different to what you were born as. When challenged on him identifying as a black man, he would get out the Wikipedia article for transracial, which, if you don't know that term, is essentially the race equivalent of transgender. Transracial people supposedly believe that they were born with the wrong skin tone, though the term has been met with criticism because race is a social construct, whereas sex is biological. Now, up until this point, all of Oogway's tweets around the transgender subject have seemed unserious. He tweeted literally days before not to take him seriously. However, this tweet from the 31st of May, if it is a joke, has a tough to find punchline. This seems more like an opinion. So now, on top of racism, he's also been accused of transphobia, and his Twitter replies are just filled to the brim with people accusing him of being a bad comedian and trying to stay relevant. But with the entire commentary and drama communities talking about him right now, you could make the argument that MasterOogway is currently more relevant than ever, even if this is fleeting and negative press. So Oogway seems to be the YouTube villain of the day right now. Emboldened by his undeniably high numbers on YouTube, he seems to think of himself as some sort of a warrior fighting against woke censorship. Critics of his are saying no, the jokes that you're making aren't comedy, saying the N-word several times isn't a joke. Even if you're being extremely generous, these are the easiest punchlines that you could possibly muster up. Though, as we've seen over the past couple of years, MasterOogway does like to take the easy street, even if he doesn't think that he does. So this all begs the question, will the current hate that he's seeing be enough to cancel him? And I would wager, no. Oogway's audience is surely made out of children who don't mind the easiest jokes and repetitive content. But these are the kinds of people who probably won't care about the criticism or backlash because they find his content funny. The only being that really has the power to cancel Oogway now is YouTube itself. He's been pushing his hand very far recently, and this might cost him eventually. Having a non-black creator say the N-word so openly on YouTube, especially if he refuses to stop, is not a good look for the brand. And this might be speculation, but I don't think that he'd be given the same treatment as, say, Sniper Wolf or Logan Paul. He's a large channel, but he's much smaller than them. And most of his views come from shorts, which don't make nearly as much as long form. But I guess we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. I feel like the MasterOogway drama still has a few twists and turns yet to happen, so I'll be waiting to see where the chips fall. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this, then why not check out my video on YouTube's disgusting conspiracy theories next. I talk a lot about demonetizations and YouTube's need to pardon certain creators' sins there, so go check it out if you haven't already. Once more, I'd love to ask you to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already yet. I'm almost at 150,000 subscribers, we're so close, and as a small creator, your support means the world to me. Aside from that, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Yours sincerely, Fox.